Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Happy Hump Day. It's almost Friday, man. We love Hump Day because we know we just got one more day to get through, and it's Friday. Ready for the weekend. I hope everybody having a good week so far. Mine haven't been too bad. So, with that be, as y'all can see, I simplified the office, changed things up a little bit. So, I realized that sometimes you can get your point across better with just simplifying. So I condensed my office and everything, and I like it a lot better this way. So we're gonna get the point across. Shout out to my barber Dre down at Fresh and Faded for always keeping me fresh and always sharing them posts, man. I appreciate the love, man. That's real. Y'all check my man out down there at Fresh and Faded. Anybody down there pretty much get you together. So whoa, what a good series. What a good series we had with good game, not a good series because the series is still ongoing. Boston and Milwaukee, man, that's a threat shoe. And Memphis and Golden State. Them series right there is lit. I watched both games. Usually I be in bed. But I sat up and watched that whole game. That boy John Moran is an animal. But yeah, them both good series. Memphis might shock old Golden State, but I doubt it. I think it'll be Golden State and Phoenix battling it out in the West with the way it's going so far. But yeah, you Toledo guys, man, y'all quit killing kids down over there. This stuff getting out of hand. Folks tired of losing their children and burying babies and kids. We don't want to go down to Roberts and see no mural or no little girl. It's a good tribute, but it's just a reminder that, she died from gun violence. And you guys that's running around with your kids and knowing y'all got a target on your back or knowing you in some stuff out there, man, you just as responsible as the shooter. So quit running around with your kids in the car, man. 7-month-old baby just got killed down there a week or so ago, and it didn't make no sense. You know what? I'm tired of this popping up. Yeah, it didn't make no sense, man. They pulled up, shot up the car her daddy was driving, but he was driving with her in the car. He get grazed and she get killed. And I don't know how I feel about the way. I know I heard them say something about street justice, and I don't know how I feel about if I don't know how I would react. Let me put it like that. I don't know if I would want to go out and get street justice or let the authorities handle it. I know in this point in my life, my first mind would be to let the authorities handle it, but who can say how they would feel if that happened to their baby, so what I'm trying to say is I can't knock. He already living in the streets. So as sad as it may sound, as bad as it may sound, I can't knock them if they decide that's what they want to do. Nobody know how you would react to something like that happening to your baby. But like I said, you got to be feeling some kind of way because you're just as responsible when you doing wrong out in the streets. You got to keep your kids separated from that, and that's the bottom line. So I don't know what's wrong with y'all, and it needs to be expressed. It's hard for me to talk about this without cussing. I said I was gonna clean up my act, but it's hard to talk about this without cussing. But because it requires a lot of passion, and more people should be talking about it. More people should be outraged. I feel like I don't know if there has been, but I know it should be some protests and stuff like that, and some rallies behind these babies getting killed in Toledo. And it's not only in Toledo that it's been happening. It's been all over Ohio. I think it was a Columbus maybe a few months ago. A guy got ambushed and had a couple of his kids in the car, and I think both of them got killed, if I'm not mistaken. But long story short, it don't killed or not, just the fact that you shooting into a car that got babies in it. We would never think to include no kids in it, nothing. Growing up in the inner city, you're going to have conflicts and confrontations. That go without being said. But we would never think to do nothing to no kids. Now, this new generation, they don't give a dang if kids out around. They shooting up playgrounds. Yeah, down in Arkansas, they done shot up the playground a couple of times, man. It shot up some kids, babies losing their life. I think that was a year or so ago down in Arkansas, where my father originally from. I got family down there. So, this not just in Toledo or Ohio, but, y'all, new generation cats is on another level. I don't know if it's the pills, but I don't know where in the script it say, open fire anywhere where no kids reside at. This shit, it's hard not to cuss talking about this topic, but this stuff is getting out of hand. We can't keep burying babies and mothers losing their kids and, parents losing, not just the mother. Parents losing their children because of some stuff that the baby daddy into. Like, man, come on. You're supposed to protect your kids. Don't neglect your kids. Protect your kids. That's the bottom line. But I want to say, man, y'all some suckers and some cowards. And I can think of some more adjectives to say about y'all, but you get the message. Stop killing people's babies and children and kids. Open a fire anywhere where no kids reside, It's already bad enough, but we busting on each other like we are. I watched a video on Facebook the other day that broke my heart. Some brothers robbed another one and pulled him out of his house and shot him in his front yard, man, in broad daylight. That was hard to look at. But the kids, they off limits. Just like Frank Lucas, not Frank White. Frank Lucas's mama said, you don't kill cops. Well, you don't kill kids. That's the bottom line on that. Speaking of cops, what about our girl? What's her name? Vicky, what's their last name? Vicky Lewis and Casey Lewis? No, what's their name? Let me see, y'all. I got to get my information right before I spit it. I know it's Vicky and something. Y'all know that Alabama correctional officer that helped my man escape? Let me get in here right quick. I ain't ashamed to show it. Or can I ask Alexa? Let me see if Alexa, what's the name of the Alabama correctional officer that escaped? What you find? Oh, girl, you are. Alexa tripping. That's why I'm fool with you. That's exactly why I'm fool with Alexa. I don't think she can understand my accent. Let me see. Oh, you got the type of name in. White. That's what it is. Vicky White and Casey White. No relation, but they dang sure having relations. And we knew that when the story developed, when the story first hit, that they done went missing. And they was questioning if she went willingly with this guy. I know everybody done heard it by now. If you didn't, Vicky White, she helped this dude escape. This dude already doing 75 years. He was back in the county on some more charges. I think another capital murder. He already serving time for murder. And she brought him out for a medical evaluation, that he was supposed to have a court appearance for a medical evaluation. Well, they discovered they was missing 6 hours later, then discovered that he didn't have no medical evaluation. Then these were all the clues while they were still questioning whether she went willingly. We knew this off the rip, but she sold her house. She turned in her retirement the day before, And then they discovered that he never had a medical evaluation schedule, but they were still questioning if she was in on the escape or not. So definitely, and then now they done found more clues, left behind shackle and radio and all that, and she done cut her phone off, and I knew off the rip what was going on. Now it's a manhunt. She done threw her life away. Bonnie and Clyde just came out on Netflix, the newer one. I watched it. It's long. It was good, but long. And I think she done got caught up in the fantasy. I know they got the same last name. He big old 6'9", 260-pound joker. She was a widow with no kids. Looked like she sucked her thumb too, but we knew off the bat, like, this, of course. I mean, I don't even know why they questioned it, but now they know. So now they looking for her. I'm telling you, when they catch her, they gonna stretch her. And that's what I know. They gonna give her just as much time as he got, make an example out of her. So I don't know how somebody could be so stupid. I don't need a daily dummy. She got that covered for the rest of my shows. She got the daily dummy slot covered. But leave her alone. That's a love story. That's an American love story. Let her run off with that killer and live happily ever after. Man, she got to be crazy. She got caught up in the fantasy. And she not the first one. She not the first one, but she got to be the dumbest one. Everything she had going for her. I don't know how they plan on staying inconspicuous, because he's staying out. And she got that old fire blind hair. Come on, man. They must have the best plastic surgeon in the world. They must have had an elaborate plan already planned out if they feel like they're going to get away with this, man. So, which I don't know what she going to do. He's 6'9". What you going to do? Cut his legs in half and sew some feet on his knees and make him look shorter or something? It don't make no sense. You can only run so far unless, like I said, they had an elaborate plan. But like I said, let them go. Let them be. Nah, when they catch her, they're going to make a good example out of her down there in Alabama. They got the same last name. Who knows? They might have been distant cousins. Y'all know how they get down in them old, in them hills. They might be cousins. Who's to say? So long distance cousins, kissing cousins. That's what they gonna show. But she got to be retarded, man. Something got to be wrong with her mentally. And that's another thing that I came to touch on, mental health. I seen Naomi Judd passed away, and her daughters issued a statement saying we lost our mom to mental health. And that made me think, I grew up in a household, my mother had mental health issues. And, she was in and out of the state hospital in Ypsilanti for a number of years, during my younger life. I think she stopped having them when I left Flint. So I wonder if I was the one giving her the nervous breakdowns. I can laugh at it now, but like I was saying, I was watching that, tribute on Naomi Judd on the news the other day, and it made me think about how I felt growing up. I used to be the first one to recognize when my mother was getting sick. At first we didn't know, but it became a pattern when she would start getting sick. And that's one thing Naomi Judd said, it's a disease, nothing to be ashamed of. But when you're a kid, it's very embarrassing. It's my mother used to have some episodes, and they spill outside the house. She might be outside and stopping traffic or something in the middle of the street. Yeah, she might be stopping traffic, something like that, hooping and hollering. She got a baseball bat, she tearing up houses. I was around 4 when she had the first episode that I was aware of, and my sister, it's me, my sister, and brother. My sister, the oldest, she's 7 years older than me, so she looking after us, but my mother tripping and bugging out and tearing up the house. And we lived across the street from grandma at the time, and my sister was like, we gonna have to get out of here. Now at the time I couldn't stand I didn't like my grandmother. I was young. I didn't realize how important your grandmother was. I just thought she was a mean old lady. But over the years, me and my grandmama had a great relationship, and I learned to respect and love my grandmama, But rest in peace to my granny. She was sweet. And she was just old school and didn't play no games. But, my grandmama was the glue. But anyway, so we living across the street from her, and I don't want to go over there, but we got to get out the house because we don't know what my mother capable of at this point, as far as hurting one of us. So we get on out of there and go over to my grandmother's house, and I immediately start sassing off to my grandmama, And she say, oh, you want to talk mess? Well, take your little bad butt back over to your mama. So now I'm defiant. So I'm so defiant of my grandmama. I'm like, I will. But, deep down, I'm scared to death to go back over there with her because she over here tripping for real. I don't know what she going to do if I go over there. But my little defiant butt walk back over there after sassing off to my grandmother and knock on the door. I hear my mother in there hooping and hollering and everything. I keep knocking on the door. And she finally opened the door, and who is it? She snatched that door open, and she in there looking, she tripping. She got a big old stick in her hand, and I'm scared to death. Like, oh, Lord. She take the stick and whack the door frame 2 times. Bam, bam. She said, you get your butt in here. So I tiptoed on in there, and I still don't think I'm out to clear, but, man, she went on to hooping and hollering and carrying on, and I went to playing with my toys like nothing was going on. But, eventually the authorities would come get her out of there, and, I end up having to stay with my grandmother or another family member or something. And for the most part, family members would take us in, but it was one time that they couldn't take us in because probably, financial reasons or whatever, they couldn't take us in at this time. So me and my brother ended up in a foster home, and my sister was old enough to, go stay with another family member. So me and my brother ended up in the foster home, man. And I'm going to tell y'all, I rebelled in that foster home. I hated that foster home. That ain't where I wanted to be. This ain't none of my, this ain't my family, So I did everything I could to get in trouble in there. I fought, foster sisters and brothers. I fought them. They cousins would come over. I fought them. I fought at school. I fought it on the school bus. I fought at school. I just was in rebelling. I didn't want to be in there. But, when they got us, they took my brother first. But, they come for me, and I hear them on the radio like, well, who's in the house? And they tell me, we're the baby, and they already know I'm the baby. So they already knew how my mama was about me. So they knew they had to bring extra backup, and I would see them come in and grab my mama up. I ain't never seen them rough her up or hurt her, but, they had to get her because she'd be going in. And, eventually I end up in the foster home, and me and my brother used to fight like cats and dogs. But, man, when I walked in that foster home and I seen him, D-Shine, I act like we was best friends, you know what I'm saying? But at that time we was, because he was the only blood that I had in there. And, the only part I liked about living with them, and they was good people. They was the Pruitts in Flint. I think we stayed on Flint Park Street or whatever with them, but they was good people. They tried their best to make us comfortable. It just wasn't my home. And, the only thing I liked, she had an older son that played the electric guitar, and he had it, hooked up to the amp and everything, and he used to play that thing, man, and I used to sit up and listen to him. And that's the only part I liked about being there. I had an auntie that stayed a couple blocks over, and I would run away and go over to her house, but the authorities always would come right over there and get me because they know where I'm at, Yeah, but it was tough growing up and seeing your mama going through mental health. At the time, you had no understanding of it, and it was very embarrassing. It's like you had we thought somebody gave her a Mickey or whatever, but the truth is, man, it ran rampant in my family. I was scared to have kids. I was like Tupac, scared to drop a seed, hoping I don't curse my babies. But I think they all okay though. I question my own, some of the stuff I did back in the days. I wonder, did I have some mental health stuff going on? I never got evaluated. Lord knows I done had plenty of counseling from the little petty troubles that I done been in, in the past. Every time you get in trouble, they try to give you some counseling. So I feel like that's a money thing, but that's another story, We ain't going to talk about that. I ain't in no trouble now. I ain't getting no counseling right now, but who's to say that, it didn't affect me, watching it growing up. It definitely had a lasting impression on me, and it definitely shaped who I am today, growing up the way we did. Like I said, every time my mom got sick, her first thing was pack up, and that's when I knew, like, oh Lord, it's coming on. And it started progressively getting worse, and she, they'll rush her off to that hospital. But I can remember visiting her. I thought Ypsilanti was in Flint, that I heard Ypsilanti so much. I think I only visited her once or twice in there. The time they took us to visit her, I was a little boy, me, my brother, and sister. And when that elevator opened and my mama saw me, she was coming off that elevator, man, her face brightened up. She smiled big and she rushed out that elevator and called my name first and hugged me. That's when I knew I was the favorite. That's when I started getting away with anything I can when she was at home. Because as long as she was, on her medicine and everything was fine, And today she fine, She haven't had an episode, like I said, since I was, a young preteen, I want to say. So she been doing pretty good. My sister taking care of her, and she doing a pretty good job. So shout out to you, Big Nose, for holding it down. And my brother up there now, he came back up from Mississippi, so she got to help him, an extra hand to help out. So that's good. So, but yeah, it was very heartbreaking, but very, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. I can say that. But one thing I can say, none of the kids in our neighborhood, none of the neighborhoods we grew up in where they, that they seen this, no kids, we never got teased, and we always had, in Flint, we called it panning. In Toledo, when I got to Toledo, they called it cracking. Now I believe down this way they call it roasting or whatever they call it, but we called it panning. So Flint always had their own terminology, man. So no kids ever panned on us. Shout out to Flint Town. No kids ever panned on us about my mother's condition. I think they felt, the embarrassment. So I think they felt bad enough for us. Nobody ever talked about my mother's condition or asked why she was like that or nothing. So, I appreciate that from the community, man. You say what you want to say about Flint, but, people did stick together, back in the day. It's definitely not like it is now. It was definitely different back then, but you can't trust nobody now. But the community stuck together back then. So, shout out to my partners that I grew up with. They know who they are. So I appreciate it. This phone steady lighting up, distracting my attention. I'm gonna have to cut it off. Matter of fact, let's see if we can call somebody in while this phone want to keep on going. Let's see if we can call somebody in on the show and get their take. This would be the first time I did this. Let's get my man's take. Let's get my man's take on these jokers killing these kids. Hey, man, what you got going?
Oh, shit, not too much of that.
I'm in the middle of the show. What you driving? Now you windy. I'm in the middle of the show. I called you to talk about what's going on down there in Toledo. Them jokers killing them kids. Give them a little input. You down there in the city. What's going on down there, man? What's wrong with them cats killing them kids down there?
Man, we down here, we dealing with the last of the real crack babies, for real, man.
The last of the crack babies.
Last of the fucking crack babies.
Where you at riding around, man? You windy in the background. You sound good other than that wind. You out on the boat somewhere?
Man, I'm out fishing, man. This is what I do for relaxation, man, and to get away from that wild ass shit that's going on in the city, man.
Okay, now talk to me, man. Give them your take on them jokers down there in the city killing. Cause like I said, you down there in the city, man. What is going on down there, man?
Man, you got these young guys out here, man. They doing all type of different drugs, man. They snorting. They don't have no type of well for nothing, man. They just out here, man, just freely out here just killing each other, man. And I know we touched on this subject a few days ago, man, as far as these young guys out here, man. You got beef out here.
Mm-hmm.
You out here gang banging, man. Stop putting these babies in the car with you, man, and somebody looking for you.
You saying the same thing I said, man. You saying the same things. You act like you was already watching the show, but that ain't even possible. Go ahead.
Man, and like I said, man, you're dealing with the last of these crack babies, man, as far as, they mental, bro. These cats think the first thing they play these video games, man, and they think they can get out here and do the same thing that these video games doing, and don't really look at the repercussions of this shit, man.
Yeah.
They're scared to go to the penitentiary because when they get out coming from the penitentiary, they think that's a way of getting some stripes. Oh, I'd have been to the joint. Man, you out here taking lives, man. You killing babies. These kids can't even defend themselves, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, you young goofy cats out here, man, out here with this gang banging shit, knowing that you got beef and putting your family members in jeopardy by putting these kids in the car with you, knowing somebody is after you.
No doubt.
That,
definitely.
I don't understand that, man.
Yeah.
The problem is, man, these kids don't have no guidance, man. But it ain't even about them not having guidance. They're not listening. They're not paying attention to nobody, man.
Nobody. But I wonder, do them cats be thinking because they got the kid with them that's gonna keep a guy off they head, I wonder if they thinking like, okay, I got my baby with me. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me while I got my baby with me. Well, you sadly mistaken, man. You sadly mistaken. These dudes do not give a damn.
About you and nobody else, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just wanted to get your take. You pretty much said the same thing I said, man. I hear you out there. I knew what you were doing when I heard all that wind. I said, I know my friend, he getting that fishing in. So I appreciate you.
Already know.
I appreciate your take, man. I'm about to wrap the show up. I was talking about that and mental health, and then I was, earlier in the show, I was talking about them jokers killing up the babies. So I figured let me call my partner and put that in and get his take on it. This the first time I done used the Bluetooth setup to talk to somebody during the film, and so I appreciate you kicking in with your input.
Man, I'm always available for you, brother, to try to give some type of insight on anything you got going on.
All right, no doubt, man, and I'll be that way this weekend, man. I look forward to chopping up with you, man. That's Chris Wheeler, man, with his input, man. Hey, man, happy fishing, man.
Man, for sure. You make sure you bring my music down here, too.
I got you covered, man.
All right, brother.
All right. Yeah, he always giving me his, he always calling me, when stuff going down in Toledo. Everybody know, if you want to know, what I'm saying, my man C-Dub, he gonna fill you in on what's going on in the city. So that's usually my source. My way of keeping up since I ain't there no more. That's my way of keeping up with things. So that was Chris on the phone with his take. He down there in Toledo with them guys, and you hear he said pretty much what I said. He ain't really said nothing different than what I said. So if anybody else got a spin, y'all can always call in. Since the show is already pre-recorded, though, you will have to leave a message or something. Go to the Get Live with LouD page. Follow it, matter of fact. I need to get my weight up bad. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I ain't too proud to beg. But anyway, yes, those are the things I wanted to touch on. Oh, I got one more. I got to talk about these folks, man. Right here in Lima. Well, close to Lima. You can't make this up. Matter of fact, let me break out my phone instead of searching it. These folks, this man, hold on, where they at? Well, I got the article right here. Let's get to the article right here. Yep, I got it right here. These folks here, I'm just gonna read a little bit of the article. This is the wildest. This not getting enough. This is not getting enough attention. But this woman, it was in a custody battle with her kid's father, and I guess he came from out of town or whatever. This was in like Wapak or somewhere. He came to pick up his kids or something, and she bomb rushed him, ambushed him, and stuck him with a needle and killed him. Now, they haven't said what was in the needle. But, man, do you hear what I just said? She didn't shoot, stab him, or over time poison him or nothing. This woman ambushed this man with a needle and ended him with a needle. Do y'all hear how wild that is? Now, let me just read a little bit. I ain't going to read too much. They done got the case. It's 3 of them was involved in the case. I guess her and her new lover and whoever else. But this is why. And she looked insane. She looked like a mad scientist. I just can't wait till they say what was in the syringe. But anyway, what's her name? According to Auglaize Sheriff Mike Voorhees, the cases for Amanda Hovernek, Anthony Diodoro, and Anita Green have been moved to the Northern Ohio Court in Toledo. Voorhees informs that his detectives are still working with the FBI on the investigation into the death of Timothy Hovernek. Voorhees says they decided that it would be better off if the U.S. attorneys handled the prosecution of the case. But hold on, I'm trying to get to the gist of what happened. Okay. According to the affidavit filed in court, Timothy Hovernek was reported missing from a Wapakoneta hotel he was staying at on April 26. Timothy was in Auglaize County to attend a custody hearing for his children he had with Amanda. Timothy's vehicle had an in-car camera that recorded him coming to Anita Green's house to drop off the kids. So that's my correction. He was dropping them off on April 24th. After the kids went inside the home with Green, Amanda allegedly attacked him with a syringe that contained a drug that led to Timothy's death. The in-car camera recorded video and audio of the attack. That's all I'm going to read on that. Can you imagine that? You come to drop off the kids and your kid's mother rush you with a needle and stick you and it's over with? That's just the audacity. I felt like I needed to say something about that because that happened right here. The audacity. And y'all can look and see how crazy she looked. I mean, she looked manly, but that's some 6 million ways to murder. Like she done sat there like, damn, shooting him, and that's too easy, I guess. Stabbing him, she went medieval on. She stuck him with a needle. The audacity, man. You can't make this stuff up. What a way to go. But anyway, like I said, quit killing babies, quit killing kids. And that's all over the world, you know. And now they got the gun show here this weekend. I kind of want to go out there and ask them people, some of them NRA people, some questions, but boy, I might mess around and get shot out there. All jokes to the side. So I ain't taking up too much more of nobody's time. Everybody have a good rest of your week and enjoy your weekend because it's coming up. And thank y'all for tuning in. That's the show. Get live with LouD, baby.